A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. Well, it's not a very good evening here, but we were very, very lucky this morning to have it dry all day until about 2:30. And I managed to get in a 5-hour walk on our local Shakespeare Regional Park, which is a working park. It's a farm with loads and loads of very pregnant sheep at the moment. And it was just a very delightful walk. Got home, and half an hour later we now have rain, quite heavy rain actually. 16 degrees outside, 10 knots of northeast, 1015, and of course 100% cloud cover in the rain. But it was really a great walk. Very interesting for any farmers listening out there. You'll be enjoying not having to wander around looking after lambs in the rain. These guys up here have it really good. I mean, if they were in the South Island, they would be in snow. But it was amazing. They all of the sheep, the pregnant ones, have been scanned, and so they've grouped them in the different paddocks based on whether they have triplets, in which case they have an orange spot on the back. Nothing at all means that they are having twins, which is obviously the most popular. And then if they've got one spot, they're one single lamb. But there is a few have lambed already, and they are ever so cute. We didn't bother telling them what happens at Christmas time, but there was obviously a black ram in the field at some stage, because some of them have got little black knees or little black feet or a little bit of black on their ears. They look ever so cute. So that was a great walk today, and we are now watching the rain. So hopefully it's a lot better out there. Plenty of wind for you guys that are cruising. So what we'll do is the usual process. We'll call in Soy Libra, Tuatara. I will give you wind shifts position, and hopefully Kotanui and Picasso will report in on streaming. It was very interesting actually. Part of the walk today we went through on a road called Kotanui. It was in a suburb on the way to Shakespeare. And there was a little sort of a parky area called Kotanui. So I came home and I looked up Kotanui on the Maori alphabet, Maori dictionary in the Google, and it didn't have a explanation for what Kotanui means. So hopefully they will tell me when they check in on the Skylink. Right, let's go to Soy Libra, Gulf Harbour.
I'm on a course of 3.5 true, doing 3.5 knots, but I started off the motor this year at night. Just one more knot. That's what I thought it was, but it's actually 8 knots out of the northeast, and the swell seems to be about a meter and a half from and about 90% cloud cover, and 1022 bar. Hey, I wanted to know if you guys, when you guys there's the, WinLink, email server, over.
Okay, the WinLink question is the ZL2SEA. It's actually not mine, it's our good friend Nigel, and I am listening to you as we speak from his Kaio antenna. I have a Kaio antenna which is on 8752 up on his property, but he runs the WinLink station ZL1SEA and ZL2SEA. So that is quite easy to get to from your position, I would imagine. Okay, Soy Libra now is at 2624 south, 17830 east, and just check me on this because your signal is not all that strong. It wasn't when you just started. 035 true course, 3.5 knots with the engine off now. only 8 knots of northeast. It looks like you've had that for a while. 1.5 meters swell, and I'm assuming that that's probably still from the southeast. 90% cloud cover, and I missed the bar. 10 is as far as I got. And did I answer the question properly for you on the wind link, Andy? Over.
Yeah, I used that wind link, and I have some friends, well, family, giving health and welfare for my son too, and they're in the U.S. on domestic email, and I got bounced out, so I've been using Hawaii for the domestic email. Anyway, back to position here. My position is 26 degrees 24 south, 178 degrees 0 minutes east, and I'm on a course of 3.5 true, 3.5 knots motoring, but I'm not motoring right now. The swell is from the east. Over.
Oops, lost him.
Well, he was strong, and then
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. We lost you again on the swell. If your family want to keep in touch with you and know you're fine, this is live streamed. Every night when we're talking to you boats, we live stream. So if friends and family want to hear you, all they need to do is go to www.ghradio.co.nz and go to the streaming part. Just click on and they will hear your dulcet tones checking in with anything. So that's always quite useful for people to keep track of where you are and that you're still sounding the same. So let them know about that, Andy, and then they can hear you. Although I'd have to say tonight you're not as strong as you have been, but maybe the weather is affecting things a bit. So yeah, but yeah, do try the ZL2 SEA Windlink station because it seems to work quite well, and on Vara as well. I presume you've got a pack door, but it works with Vara. Okay, is there anything else, Andy? Over.
Yeah, I did tell family to listen to the training. I just, at the time I had sent some kind of message from help. I'm doing okay out here. Anyway, the weather is interesting out here because David mentioned some things last night, and I expected it to get really, a little bit more active out here, and it hasn't. But I do expect a little bit more action tomorrow, maybe some 20 knot winds, 25 knot winds, and then hopefully the wind will start going in the right direction for me to still go on without acting on the takeover.
Yeah, roger that. Well, he'll comment on the weather shortly. We'll cover you and Tuatara, and yeah, I think he'll wait until we've finished taking chickens to look at the weather.
I could do it now.
You can do it now. Okay, stand by, and hopefully Tuatara is listening as well.
Well, yeah, on your way to Minerva. So I'm looking at tomorrow, Andy, at lunchtime, about noonish, and not sure where you will be, but let's say you're at 25 south, and let's say you're at, what do we give you? You're now at 178. We'll put you a little bit further east than that. The winds look like they're going to be out of the northeast at about 15, 16 knots. Let's see what the gusts are looking like there. And, well, according to, let me count the models. Hang on, Andy. I'm going to get off the microphone for a second. Yeah, I'm looking at 3 different models, and they're all looking at gusts of 22, 23 knots by lunchtime tomorrow. And then looking at Wednesday, assuming you're going to be probably crossing the date line, maybe, and well, you're going to be almost at the latitude of Minerva, but we'll call it 2430, something like that. Winds are going to be, well, believe it or not, probably about the same. Uh, Mean wind about 16, 17 knots, and direction north northeast. So that's pretty much near Minerva, almost at Minerva, very very close to Minerva. And now there is a front that's going to be coming in through the weekend, so you're going to want to be in Minerva by then. I'm sure you will. You're really not that far away, so it's just a matter of how badly you want to get there in terms of the motor. And yeah, let's see what do we have in the line of rain for you. Hang on. Now it's looking good right through Wednesday, Thursday, no precipitation. Friday, starting to get a little precipitation on Friday. Scattered showers. You're on the edge of the frontal band on Friday. Saturday is pretty much when that frontal band is going to hit Minerva. Very early Saturday, maybe even late Friday night. Even late Friday night, that frontal band will be coming in. Now, what's noteworthy about it is that the winds will do an immediate shift to, looks like, the southeast. So on the north side, you're going to have basically north, maybe even north-northwest, and on the south side, like I said, southeast winds. And of course in between is where the frontal band is with the associated rain. It doesn't look, there's a fair amount of rain. In fact, well, maybe not. Most of the rain actually is a little bit further to the west, so we'll have to see. And it's just modeling, so they are quite apt to be off. In fact, they may even be off on the timing of the frontal band. But definitely by the weekend it'll get there, one way or the other. Hard to really predict the day. And then that's when there's lots of wind shifts. They're all over the place. In fact, one model even is showing some cyclonic rotation to the west of the date line. So we'll have to see what happens. But that's out. It's out pretty far. By far, I'm talking about Saturday. And for modeling at this point, that is pretty far. So anyway, that's your story for Tuesday and Wednesday. The winds, like I say, the gusts can be up there. So I'm not sure if a north wind, how high you can point, but I guess you'll find out and tell us. Over.
Yeah, Dave, did you say 50 to 60 knots?
Did you say 50 knots?
No. I never said 50. No, absolutely not. Nothing like that. You're going to be looking at maybe 2-4, 1, 2, 3,
No.
one. Never. Scratch that. 24, 2-4 knots. Over.
Oh, that sounds good. It was supposed to be 20 knots last night, I think, and I didn't see it. Over.
Oh, I didn't see it last night. Oh, that's good, because it's a bit of a pain in the neck in the dark to have it fairly strong. But all right, well, we'll catch up with you again tomorrow, Andy, and see how you're handling that. Okay, and it'd be interesting now to pass to Tuatara, because the AIS, well, this AIS is a bit strange because it's 15 hours old for you, Pip. So I'll be interested to see where you are. So we'll clear with Soy Libra and go to Tuatara.
Harbour Radio, this is Tuatara. Probably behind me. We're on holiday. We're just, taking things on. Busy time already, over.
Yeah, it must be. It's really funny because I've got the same, Soy Libra is not too far old. It's about an hour old. But your one, I thought, oh my God, that's a long way different from it. And then further north, we've got Picasso and Kotonui really close together, and one's reporting quite swiftly and the other one isn't. So anyway, hope you are dealing with the wind direction. Go ahead with your report. Over.
Well, we're at 23 degrees 51.9 south, 178 degrees 15.2 east. We're heading the northerly direction at about 6 knots. The wind speed is between 10 to 15. The wind direction is below, and the swell is about 2 metres coming from the east. Over.
Okay, we have Tuatara 235, we'll put it 52 south, and 17816 east, heading north at 6 knots with 10 to 15 from the northeast and 2 metre easterly swell. So how's everybody on board? No problems? All good? Over?
And as far as we know, all good.
All right, so yeah, as long as everyone's eating and enjoying life, that sounds good. All right, we'll clear with you guys and have a good night there. I'll just give you wind shifts latest AIS position. They are at 2356 south and 17716 east. They're doing about 5.6 knots in a north direction as well, north to 007, and the wind is 13 knots as well. This is from the east, they say. At noon it was 16 knots from the east, so that's about right. That was their noon position. They've got 400 to go, less than that now, and they've got flying fish everywhere. I actually like flying fish, fry them up and crunch all the bones and eat them, really healthy for you. So I hope you're saving a few and not leaving them until they're old and smelly. It's amazing where they get to on the deck, isn't it? So that's the wind shift position. And Kotonui have just checked in on the Starlink, and they are at 21 degrees 44 south, 17651 east, on a course of 010 true at about 7.5 knots. They've got wind from 18 to 22 knots. True direction is 100, so that's pretty good for them. Excellent direction. 1017, 40% cloud cover, east-southeast swell of 3 metres, so it's quite a decent swell up there. The wind waves are east-northeast to east-southeast, but they've had a sudden change in water temperature up to 25 degrees, so they're definitely going in the right direction. And they tell me that Kotonui is the name of the island of Matakatea. That's that sort of looks a bit like a small 9-pin, and they look at that from their house. It's meant to mean giant cockle. Well, I've lived here all these years and I didn't know that. When I pass by, I will now know that it's Kotonui. All right, and Picasso has checked in. Thanks, Daisy. 2041. They've really held that 1 degree difference from Kotonui since the start. And 17618 east, and they're also on a course of 010 true at about 8 knots with 30% cloud cover, and the waves, etc., the same as Kotonui. So they're looking good for their arrival. They must be all but smelling the barn now, so excellent progress from those two. All right, I am going to pass the microphone to hear a bit about the weather.
All right, good evening, and I think we'll do the same thing as what we did yesterday, and I'll just give a general outlook of what's cooking in the Southwest Pacific, then go on to Fiji and Tonga, and then we'll see what else if anybody's interested. So our low, and boy, it's a dirty one. It's in the middle of the Tasman, a little bit closer to New Zealand than the middle, but it is giving us an awful lot of just dirty weather. So we have a frontal band that runs from New Zealand, and it just doesn't arc all the way up to, we'll call it Townsville. in Australia. And it's fairly active where we are. It's broken in places as it heads up toward the Australian coast. Then it breaks up into bands so that by tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll call it lunchtime again, we've got a frontal band that is going to be up at 30 south. We'll call it 30 south and about 175 east. And that frontal band extends up toward New Caledonia, and it goes to the southeast, pretty much the Chatham Islands. So the winds on the east side of this thing are going to be coming out of the north to northeast, and on the other side, on the west side, they're coming out of the northwest to northwest, and winds 35 to 38 knots. That's in the center of it. So that's on Tuesday at lunchtime. Now the high has drifted east, and it's about a 1026, 1027 millibar high, and it's doing the same thing that we talked about yesterday. It's basically getting squeezed, so it looks kind of like a football. Be a good way to describe it, I suppose. So that the isobars, as you get up toward the islands, as you get up toward the Lao group and toward Fiji, the isobars are running almost east-west, and so that's providing winds of east-southeast up in that area. Although in the Tonga area, the shape of the isobars are such that the winds are going to be out of the southeast. So that's the story for the general picture. So if we were now to, we are going to go to Fiji, and this is going to be from Fiji Met Service, and again the strong wind warning remains in force, and to shorten it up, they're calling off southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, and moderate southerly swell. And the day after, that would be Wednesday, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, and the same thing, rough seas, moderate southerly swells. So moving over to Tonga, this is from the Tonga Met Service, and they are calling off still strong wind warnings for Tongatapu, for the Hapais, for Vavau, and also for New Potatoes to the north, and for Minerva. So we will look now at the marine forecast. This is from their Met Service, and they are again with a heavy damaging swell that remains in force for Vavau, Hapais, Tongatapu, Ua, and the Minervas. For to be proper, Teli Ki Tonga and Teli Ki Tokelau. And there is a strong wind warning for all Tonga coastal waters, and there is a small craft advisory for all Tonga coastal waters. So the forecast forecast to midnight tomorrow for Vavau, the Hapais, and Tongatapu, south to southeast winds 15 to 20, rising 25 to 30, which is pretty much what I said a few minutes ago. Rough seas to 3 meters, and that damaging swell is going to be from the south to southeast, and that will be up to 4 meters. That's 4 meters. And looking at the Minervas, southeast winds 15 to 20. So this is for tomorrow. Southeast winds 15 to 20. So Soya Libra should be listening to this. Southeast winds 15 to 20, rising 25 to 30 at times, then becoming northeast by late tomorrow afternoon. Rough seas 3 meters, and that damaging southeasterly swell 4 meters. So Wednesday for the Minervas, northeast winds 15 to 20, and then rising up to 25 at times, 25 knots at times. And moderate seas, now they're calling 2.5 meters. So it looks like it's coming down for Soy Libra and Tuatara for Wednesday. Let's hope that's the case. So that's pretty much the big picture and the little picture. So anybody with any questions, come down.
No, nothing heard, and just looking at, yeah, boy, it's been very peaceful at Tangatapu. All the boats are still just sitting there, enjoying life, maybe ashore, and nothing much more happening. Those boats are still on their way to Tanna from Fiji, about 10 of them, and yeah, nothing much more to report from here. We will be listening to raindrops on the roof all night. So enjoy your evening, everybody, and unless there is anybody else, we will be clear from here, and you can have the frequency if you want it. Cheers all. Let me just check Sorry, Jan, I just missed you. I was looking at the streaming here. What was that again? What was the weather like in the Afu? Over?
Yeah, just saying that we're getting pretty knocked off in there. I've got pretty strong wind, and it's still to the south, it hasn't gone yet. So pretty wet windy right into mangoes, over.
Alright, so still from the south in the Afu and gusty. So guess you're far enough away to not be getting too much. What was that about the mangoes? Have you got mango season up there, over?
Oh, well, there was a big mango too. So mango is the name of the alternative place to the crescent, which is open all day long rather than just in the evening, over.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not picking you up all that well. So it's just not very good radio conditions tonight, actually. I was struggling with a couple of the boats, but yep, I can see where you are, well, where you were. I haven't actually checked up at Vavau on the AIS at the moment. Oh, by the way, for boats going to Minerva, there's nobody in Minerva on AIS at the moment. But what was that? You are outside the Mango Resort. Is that what you're saying, Jan, over?
Well, I'm actually well down the bay from the mango. It's a pretty wet dinghy ride to get to it, to the dinghy dock there. And I'll be calling out on Wednesday to get my fishing over.
Oh, good show. So hauling out on Wednesday. Yeah, it would be a pretty wet dinghy ride from a ways away. Yeah, oh, that's good. Well, I hope the weather is decent for the haul out on Wednesday. So maybe we'll talk to you with better conditions in the morning. So have a good night, Jan, and we will be clear. Gulf Harbour Radio is clear. Oh, there is somebody there, but I might need a relay, that's for sure. Did you hear another boat there, Jan, over?
Yeah, I think it was Danella.
Oh, Danella. Hello, Christian. So good evening to you. That's usually you're quite strong. So yeah, radio conditions are not all that good tonight, Christian, over.